Hello everyone, welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa, and today I'm here to review the Never Ever Met Season 1, Episode 7. And in this episode, what I noticed is a lot of very similar things from prior episodes, but some things are coming to light. For example, the Josh situation was shocking, and we had the Millie situation with Greg. They share similarities as well as, I suppose, differences in regards to what they want out of the relationship. We have Diamond continuing to involve herself in people's business. We have Aaron and Jody continuing to not have a connection. We have Chris and his a-hole friend. And we have Sandia and her friend trying to figure each other's partners out. Okay, so let's get into things. So firstly, let's talk about Millie and Greg. So they continued off from last episode when they were doing the therapy session and talking about their traumas. So we listened to Millie's trauma countless times, and then the therapist noticed Greg, looked a little bit distant, and so she wanted to tap into that. And so she did. She asked him what was the reason for you looking so spaced out and stuff, and he told her that he also has been molested. And the way she looked at Greg, it almost seemed as if, how dare you, you know, outshine me in regards to in regards to trauma. I don't want it to be about you. I want it to be about me. And I felt like if you wanted it to be about you, then you should have had the therapy session by yourself. But since Greg was there, I think it's only right for both of you to share your traumas, not only you. If he has something that he's been holding in that may affect your relationship, why wouldn't you want him to speak it out and try to resolve it as well? Because at the end of the day, it's gonna benefit both of you. But I don't know about that relationship, to be honest with you. They did a relationship game. They always have these games, and it was to see who knew their partner the best. And it turned out that Millie and Greg knew each other the least. And as far as she was concerned, Greg kept getting things incorrect that were considered important to her. So she did not really appreciate that, and I think she kind of gave him a cold shoulder after that happened, because I feel like she was a bit embarrassed. I feel like she's extremely competitive, and seeing as though it kind of became a bit of a competition, because there is technically a winner. I mean, the couple that knows each other the best is technically the winner, right? And she ended up being on the losing side of that competition. It's very embarrassing for people to see that your partner doesn't know you, right? Especially to be as loud and vocal and giving advice to other people as Millie is. It's kind of a little bit ashamed to see that the partner that she chose doesn't quite even know her that well. And to me, what it seems like between Millie and Greg is that Greg, to me, wants intimacy with her. She, on the other hand, doesn't want that. She wants to prioritize other things. The problem there is that she is realizing things that makes her hesitant with Greg, because she feels as if Greg just wants sex. And so if Greg gets it, then she loses her power and she kind of loses her bearings in that relationship. So she's kind of, I don't want to say she's keeping intimacy hostage, but sometimes it seems that way. But I don't blame her for it, because going through traumatic experiences where you're out of control or you don't feel like you're in control, it makes you want to salvage and keep and maintain a level of control within a relationship, especially in the beginning of it when you're not too sure of the other person. It is your way of being in control. But then again, I think they need to talk further about creating a common ground where they could both agree and the other one doesn't feel cheated by the other one. I feel like that's what it is. I do feel like it's okay for Millie to be cautious, but I feel like it's not okay for her to hold things hostage because she doesn't trust Greg and she wants to maintain a level of control within that relationship. Aaron's photo shoot attempt. Now, this whole time he's been planning. Oh, I'm trying to do this for Jody, that for Jody. Oh, if she's feeling uncomfortable, I want to step back for Jody. I want Jody to be comfortable. Everything he's doing is for Jody, right? And Jody hasn't done anything for him. What has Jody ever done for him within this entire time in that house? Nothing. One time he tried to take a sip of her drink and she went off on him. Like, this man feels like he is on a bomb. Like, he doesn't know when it's gonna go off, so he's afraid to touch it, afraid to hold it, afraid to do anything with it. And his attempts at connecting with Jody was extremely commendable. And as he's sharing his plans, everybody is, being positive and telling him, you know what? Yeah, good. Like, even in the relationship game that they played, some people found as if, wow, Aaron and Jody know each other more than I thought they did, because during the process in the house, it doesn't seem like they connect very much. So, it's kind of baffling that they know each other so much. But I wasn't baffled, because what I've noticed with Jody is that she's very good at tests. Like, she will learn all the facts of a situation and just have the knowledge there, but she doesn't use it for anything other than to prove to other people that they should stay out of her business, but not necessarily because she wants to connect with the person. It's highly unlikely that she knows, or Jody and Aaron know so much about each other because they're both trying to connect. It just seems as if Aaron is trying to impress Jody, and Jody really doesn't want nothing to do with him, but she doesn't know how to tell him, this is not working out for me, and I don't see a connection there. For somebody that's as vocal as Jody, I'm a little bit shocked that it's so difficult for her to just be honest with Aaron and tell him, I'm not interested in you, period. Because that's what we all see. Now, as far as the photo shoot was concerned, great concept, great thought process, everything. So they go, they wear these costumes, they have this photo shoot. She's this evil, malevolent character, and he's this king character, right? They're touching and getting close and, trying to, well, he's trying to connect. I just feel as if Jody was trying to get through it as much as she could without making the situation awkward. And so they did a pose and he's like, yeah, get close to each other. And from the angle, you could see Aaron's neck swing, to come closer to Jody's face. And they shared a kiss, and you could see that Jody hesitates a bit. So she pushes her head back a bit while Aaron is going fully into that kiss. And just based on that, you could tell that Jody wasn't interested in that kiss, nor was she ready to be kissed by him, but she played along with it because, again, she's cognizant of her surroundings. She doesn't want people to get ahead of her. Like, she wants to be the one to say how she feels. She doesn't want people to make assumptions, even though other people's assumptions are true, So she's trying to be cool. She doesn't like the kiss, it turns out. But Aaron really liked the kiss. In fact, he says it's the best kiss he's ever had. So imagine how disheartened the audience expects that. But they're a little bit feeling sorry for him, because it's like you could tell he's really into her and that kiss, And you could tell without Jody even saying anything that she wasn't interested in it. So you feel sorry for him, but at the end of the day, it's like you see this, but you're choosing to ignore it for whatever reason that the audience just cannot understand. And I was listening to Married 10 Years, and she mentioned something where it's like perhaps Aaron grew up in a household where he had to always fight for approval from his dad, from his parents. And I agree, because the way in which he attempts and tries so hard with Jody, it's almost like a little boy that wants to prove to his parents that, hey, I can do it. Look at me, type of thing. And he's not getting a very positive reception from Jody. And normal people would get the hint and move on. But with Aaron, it's as if his mindset is, okay, let me try harder next time. It's this constant thing of, I need to prove myself. So if I didn't get it the first time, let me try to get it the second time. And it's like, it's just not working. It's just not working. And he sees it, because they come from the photo shoot. Jody looks defeated, like somebody beat her up, right? And Aaron doesn't know what to do, because he's thinking they connected and they shared this great kiss, and she was never honest with him. So he's thinking everything is all good, except they get to the house and he's seeing that she's acting the very same way that she's been acting. So they didn't make any progress. And so it was Chris who notices it. He notices that Jody's being weird and Aaron is being weird. And so he speaks to Aaron, essentially Aaron is saying, well, he thought there was gonna be some progress, but it doesn't really seem as if there has been any progress. And I noticed that Chris was trying not to get into their business, but at the end of the day, he has to be honest with what he's seeing. And what he sees is that Aaron is putting in so much effort while Jody is putting in zero. And he's only telling Aaron, do what's best for you. I don't think it's fair that she doesn't reciprocate the energy that you reciprocate. So it's almost like this one-sided thing. And like, you'd be better off being in a relationship with somebody that appreciates your effort. That's essentially what Chris is trying to tell him. And somebody that respects him is super important, because clearly Jody doesn't respect him. Jody doesn't respect Aaron, right? She doesn't like him. There's nothing for him to figure out, because he's like, oh, just when I thought I figured out Jody, I didn't. There's nothing to figure out. It's very simple. She doesn't like you. She doesn't want you near her, right? She wants a leader. She doesn't see that in him. She sees it in his father. She sees it in Chris. That manly, I guess, demeanor, take charge type of thing. Because I remember when she was salsa dancing with the dad, she says, oh, I love to follow. You're a leader. I'd love to follow. So she wants a man that she can respect and follow. And she just doesn't get that from Aaron. She just doesn't. And then he says something like he doesn't do things for reciprocity. And I'm like, okay, but don't you notice she's not reciprocating? Not even a thank you, not a hug, not a kiss, not anything, because she doesn't like you? Because it's actually not complicated. If a woman likes you, respects you, and is interested in you, and you do something to show her appreciation, she's gonna reciprocate. She's gonna want to open up. She's gonna want to share her gratitude with you in some way, shape, or form. And It's not about reciprocity. It's simply about her not liking you. Because I don't think that in any world you would ever find a woman whose man takes it to the extra mile and they just give them nothing, not a thank you, not a hug, not a kiss, not anything. You know, if a woman does that, just know she doesn't like you. If she liked you before, she doesn't like you anymore. Period. Just take the hint. Because this, at this point, this is really pathetic for Aaron to not see it as, this is not something for you to fight for. I could understand if she was trying, but she's not even trying, right? As I said last episode, she's using her trauma to keep you at bay, not because she really likes you. But anyways, let's move on. So we have Chris. Chris's friend comes in. Chris has an a-hole of a friend. It doesn't shock me because that very first episode, that whole verbal garbage that he was spewing to the other men, I mean, it's not shocking that that's the type of friend that that Chris has. And he was like basically telling Chris, women are not there for relationships. Essentially, women are just there for men to use sexually. And if you want anything further, get the sex first. And then you could decide from there. And it's like his whole mindset is so toxic and disgusting. It almost seems as if he wants Chris to be a dog with him for the rest of his life. And at the end of the day, what I was saying when I saw that interaction is that when your mindset has changed, your friends need to change. I don't believe there's any sense in remaining friends with people and you guys do not share the same thought processes, because you know what's gonna happen is that a disconnect is gonna happen anyway, and the friend that is doing the BS is gonna try to drag the friend that wants to elevate. So it's like it's always gonna be this struggle of my friend versus me progressing. And the only way I see Chris having a healthy relationship or even a shot at a healthy relationship is if he stops being friends with that guy or he holds him at an arm's length, because there's just no way that a positive relationship will be able to take place with a friend like who Chris has, because that friend will encourage Chris at any point during that relationship to cheat. He's gonna bring the woman to Chris and encourage Chris to cheat. That's the type of friend that is, because he doesn't want to see his friend in a relationship, because he doesn't think relationships make sense. Women are just to be used, right? So that's my opinion. And then Sandia is talking to her friend, and Sandia says that, you know what, she is trying to, see where it goes with Chris. She sees it as a long-term thing. Initially, the people in the house didn't like him, but eventually they started, warming up to his personality, I guess understanding him better. And she saw that as him making progress in the way of doing things, as well as within the house. And I guess he is trying, but at the end of the day, I would be so cautious with Chris, knowing the type of friend he has. So the friend comes in to meet Sandia and her friend, and the first thing the friend says is, oh, well, do you want a long-term relationship? And she says yes. And then he goes, well, that doesn't make sense. So essentially, everything he's saying is giving red pill. It's giving that guy who they called the Godfather, I even forgot his name, Kevin Samuels. And it's just not a good look. And like the things he's saying, like Sandia is like, she doesn't know what to do with herself, and the friend is like, because the a-hole friend is trying to tell these women that it's a fairy tale to find a man that is faithful. That's what the friend was saying. And then Sandia's friend is like, it's absolutely not. It's real. There's so many men that are faithful to their partners. And so for you to say it's a fairy tale, like it doesn't happen in real life, I guess it speaks to his experience with maybe not seeing faithful relationships in his life. But I think his outlook is extremely toxic. And Chris had to tell him, okay, don't argue with these women. Like, you didn't come here to argue. It's like he came there to fight for Chris's singleness, because he doesn't want to see Chris in a relationship, because he want to do hood rat things with Chris, and Chris is realizing that I don't want to do hood rat things anymore. Anyways, I don't see that friendship lasting if Chris wants to change like he says he wants to change. But that happened. Either case, Sandia's friend, to my shock, she wasn't moved. She wasn't skeptical. She was still quite optimistic about Chris and Sandia's connection. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Now, Diamond. I think that is the last thing that I'm going to talk about. Diamond drops a bomb on Shay. So we see Josh floating around all throughout the house, giving people advice. Not too much advice to the point where they'd be offended, but just enough advice as if he knows everything and he's the elder. And he, the go-to guy for advice is Josh. So it's very interesting to learn that Diamond drops a bomb on Shay and tells Shay that Alexis told her, because she kept conversing with Alexis. So Alexis told her that Josh wanted to sleep with her. So, okay. Diamond knew this information for quite some time. I don't think she just knew it. She knew it for quite some time. And then she decided to tell it to Shay. Now, to be honest with you, I understand that, okay, we don't like Diamond and Aaron in people's business because they're constantly in people's business. But my issue is, what would you do if you had a person in the house who is lovey-dovey with their man, but know this thing about their man? Would you not tell the friend? Like, what would you do? So I don't necessarily think it's messy for Diamond to tell Shay this. I feel like it's I mean, what can you possibly do? It's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Don't say anything, and she continues to think that this is a problem-free relationship. Say something, and then when they get back together, you're gonna be the one that they deem as problematic. So I don't know. So Josh explains the situation, and he says Alexis wanted to do a threesome, I guess, with Josh and Shay, and she wasn't having it. Shay wasn't having it. Shay fell asleep. So Josh then goes outside with Alexis because he says she's talking too loud, and they begin to speak. And I guess the conversation continues about sex and whatever the case may be. So on his page, he went ahead and said that nothing happened and that they were just talking while he was doing his laundry. And nothing exciting occurred, and he promises that nothing exciting occurred. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what he said. We would have to hear from Alexis, because there's always two sides to a story. So I think before Shay goes off, she should at least speak with Alexis face to face or via phone to find out what her side of the story is, and if possible, maybe put Josh and Alexis together to determine like who is lying and who's telling the truth. I don't know, but Shay is going off on Josh. She's not trusting him because it's not like he's had this perfect pristine record. He's slept with other people and had children while he was supposedly with Shay. So I think although Shay says she, moved past him having a child, clearly she hasn't, because she doesn't really know if to whether to trust him or not, which leads me to believe that she never really wholeheartedly trusted him, and so she wants to go home. Diamond comes in and I'm like, why is Diamond here? Like, because she knows she dropped the ball. And I guess she doesn't want to be the reason why they break up or anything like that. I guess she told Shay so Shay could ask Josh, but not necessarily for it to go how it went. So she's talking Shay out of leaving. Shay goes back, tries to confront Josh. Josh is denying everything. She doesn't believe Josh. She's like, so then why would she say something like that? So I cannot wait to figure out what really happened and what Alexis has to say about it. Do I think that they slept together? I don't think so. But if they had prior conversations about threesomes, then it's like I don't know at this point. So we'd have to wait to see what Alexis says about this situation. But yeah, that is what happened for this episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. In the next episode, we see the spotlight is yet again on Diamond and Aaron. Her daughter comes in and she kind of feels as if it's way too soon for marriage because the daughter doesn't even know Aaron. So it's like, you want to marry my mom and I don't even know you. What's the rush? So you're gonna see how that goes. Like, subscribe in the comment section, and subscribe, write something, share your opinions in the comment section, and see you guys next time. Bye.